It's time for Justice for All, Behind the Badge video, streamed live from Team Toyota Route 1 in Langhorne with your host, Tom Mellon, featuring Bucks County District Attorney Matt Weintraub and Bucks County Sheriff Fred Harran. Here's your host from Team Toyota, Tom Mellon.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Behind the Badge. It's a show that I'm very proud to be a part of, and sponsoring this is Paul Muller at Team Toyota, which is where we air our show here. Behind the Badge with Bucks County Sheriff Fred Harran. I have to tell you, he served for how many years now? 35 years.
35 years.
In law enforcement. My God, 35 years, and you're only... So that would only make you 40. You'd be 46. You started at 11 years of age.
Yep, that's it.
Yes, very early in your career.
They let me in the police academy at 11. We got a special dispensation.
That's great. Fred, thanks for joining us as always. As I indicated, for many years as a law enforcement officer, as a director of public safety, both our fire, EMT, paramedics, and our police departments. I'm probably leaving some other agencies out in Bensalem Township. And now presently, thanks to our, as smart as they are in Bucks County, they elected you as the sheriff of Bucks County. Tell us a little bit about what's going on today, currently in Bucks County, under your realm. We'll start with that because we have a lot of questions that our listeners have.
I understand you have a lot of questions today, so
it
was great. I was glad people were able to call in and give some questions because, who wants to hear us talk for an hour? God. I'd rather have people.
I do. I want to listen to you.
I don't want to listen to me. I'm glad people were able to call in, but the sheriff's office has been very busy as we're coming out of this post-COVID era. Unfortunately, things are starting to pick up, like foreclosures and evictions and things like that. That's starting to pick up, and those are certainly the sad parts of the job. When we're dealing with that sort of stuff and taking people's property and things like that. These are not the fun things. As I think I told you on one of the shows, I always thought, when a police officer walks up to your door, municipal police officer, there's never any good news. And I thought about that for years that was the case until I got to the sheriff's office. And there's one other agency that, at least when a police officer walks up, they could be, I found your car, we found your loved one, was missing, we returning your television or your ring or whatever it is, your property. But when the sheriff walks up to the door, we're not returning anything. We're normally taking something.
No, right.
So it's never any good news. It's a shame. But, we're going through a budget cycle right now in the county. So we just submitted our budget last week, and I'm trying to get some new deputies, some deputies added on, and some civilian staff as well. They were, challenged by a lot of the requirements that were mandated to do, in a timeliness fashion. The manpower, the person power is down, so we're trying to make sure we can keep up with the regulations that are out there. And also to try to provide new services. As when I told you when I was running, I wanted to do new things. I didn't go up there to retire. I love working, and I love doing new things every day. And
You're
coming up with
too young to retire.
Well, I think so. I'm not that young anymore. I feel pretty young. We were talking about that before the show. I feel pretty good. So that's my wife's credit. So she's the one why I feel young. So she keeps me going. So that's good. But we want to try to get some more personnel, sworn officers. We have some new courtrooms that are being opened in the courthouse to try to keep that system moving. But that, everything comes at a cost, and security is not free. To keep the courthouse safe and to serve the paperwork and the documents and have the officers on the street the way we do. We're all over the county. It's not just one municipality, but we're serving the entire county. And as you know, the county is very large. It's very long. It's shaped like Italy. It's about an hour and 25 minutes from north to south. So,
wow.
Yeah, I could be in New York City quicker than I could be in the upper parts of the county.
That's incredible.
So from right here, all I got to do is get on the Jersey Turnpike, and about 50 minutes later, I'm hitting the Verrazano Bridge.
How many residents are in Bucks County?
About 650,000 residential, and I know the estimated daytime population was well over like 1.5 million. So it's it's a busy county. There's a lot of things going on. but it's a great county, and we want to make sure we keep it safe. We want to make sure we work with the, one of the things I had promised is to work with the local municipalities and serving warrants. But it seems like, obviously I'm new to the game. Just January 3rd is when I started in the sheriff's office, but the municipal officers are doing a great job. Our 39 police departments that we have in this county, and making arrests, and then those arrests turn into warrants. Not everybody shows up for court, and then it's our job to go get them.
No, you're right.
But that comes at a cost. We have deputies flying all over the country every day.
We mentioned that a couple times on our
I told you that crazy story when I first got in. I couldn't believe, but we have deputies flying all over, picking up prisoners and bringing them back to justice in Bucks County. Some of them we try to work out in the state they are in, if possible, because I think sometimes it's cost prohibitive to bring them back, and they're not going to go to jail anyway. So
right, exactly.
Why pay all that money? But we do what we're obligated to do under the law, and I think for the victims, it's important, regardless of the cost, that justice is served. And you want to know that the person that victimized you, whether it's certainly if it's by violence or force, we want those people held to justice. But if it's property damage too, we want to make sure that justice is served and that the wrong is righted. Mm-hmm. And I think that's very important to a victim. I think we have to remember that we can't put a price on bringing closure for a victim. I think one less victim in the world, like a MasterCard commercial, is priceless.
Sure.
And we want to make sure that justice is served here in Bucks County. We've got a great staff. We've got a great group of people. Of course, my good friend and the best district attorney in the country,
absolutely,
Matt Weintraub, and Matt's got that great balance. But I work with the police chiefs in this county, and they're all great men and women that that really have a care and a love for this county and their municipalities to protect it. It's unbelievable. I just moved out of Bensalem. I moved to Bristol Borough, and they have a new police chief. He was an officer there, Joe Moores, and this guy is unbelievable. I mean, he's at every event. I see him all the time. The other day, he was on a school crossing. Crosswalk,
okay,
helping out
sure.
At like 7:20 in the morning. I pulled over. I said, "When do you go home and go to bed?"
That's great to see.
So, but that's guys like Joe, guys like Bill McVeigh and Ben Salem and Joe Borderillo and Mark Schmidt and
sure.
and all these the men and women of Bucks County. And I just named 4
just
out of
them.
39. Sure. No one wants to listen to me
Look,
name 39 people.
Right.
But they all are amazing, the work that they do, and I want to make sure I pledge to work with them to keep their officers on the street and the sheriffs doing their part of the justice system.
To your point, when you mentioned the chief down there in Bristol Borough being out there at 7:20 in the morning, and geez, do you ever get any sleep? John Hearn's the same way in Newtown. Incredible, and I worked with him in the Philadelphia Police Department for many years. And
you Hearn and Ben Franklin, right?
Yes, right.
Sorry, John, I didn't mean it. It was more for Tommy.
That's more for me, exactly. But John, very active. He even said to me, Freddie, one time, he says, "I cannot sit behind the desk.
Yeah,
it's not my composure. I have to be out there on the streets." And it's good that Bucks County has these types of chiefs.
Yeah,
they're all the same way, engaged in the community, involved with projects, charities, golf outings, whatever it may be.
Well, I think in Bucks County, I think the community and the people
right.
make it that you want to engage. It's
That's
very
true.
easy to go hide yourself in an office if you want to do that.
Yeah.
That's not my cup of tea, as you well know.
It's not.
But it's easy to do that and get your. But that doesn't make the 8 hours go by or the 10 hours or 12 hours. I remember someone said to me, do you miss Ben Salem? And I said, I miss the people in Ben Salem.
Yes.
But at 58 and 35 years in law enforcement, it's nice to be able to have dinner and the phone not ring. The sheriff's a different. It's a different animal, so to speak. We're not. When I know we'll get into some of these with the questions.
Sure.
We're not on patrol. We don't have the same issues that municipal police do, but we do have issues. There are challenges. Protecting that courthouse.
Yes.
When you have criminals coming in there and people that are about to lose a lot of money, people that are about to lose their kids, people that, their divorce might not be going their way, people that might be getting a protection for abuse order, people whose freedom might be taken away.
Yes.
That's the last stop for them.
God.
So, until you're in that person's shoes, you don't know what they're thinking of at that moment. And we want to make sure that no matter what the judge says or does, that the entire building is safe and that justice is served peacefully.
Yes, absolutely.
If you will. But yeah, it's. I forgot how we got on this, but it's nice that the phone doesn't ring 7, 8 o'clock anymore. So.
Well, it's your involvement with the community, and you really you haven't left Ben Salem because now you're still working in tandem with Bill McVeigh.
Sure, of course, but not just Ben Salem, but all departments. But I'm trying to get more involved, and I was involved in a lot of organizations within Ben Salem. I'm trying to, break away and get into other towns. And do some other stuff too. Ben Salem's in great shape as far as community involvement and all that sort of stuff.
Oh my goodness, absolutely.
Their challenges are still the city of Philadelphia. I saw a stat the other day, and it was 2 weeks old already. 750 shootings over the summer since Memorial Day.
Oh my God.
If I was a resident of the city of Philadelphia, I would be with a picket sign at Philadelphia at City Hall every day. That is, I know I've said some. You've caught me on the 7-second delay. I don't know if there is or not, but I've said some things. But that's just utterly disgusting.
Oh
and
no, it's
somebody should be held accountable.
Reprehensible, yes.
How the DA and the mayor sleep at night in that city, I wouldn't be able to.
No, exactly right. I'm glad you brought it up, Fred.
I know I'd have a guy like Matt Weintraub and Joe D on the phone, like, what are you doing?
What's going on? Sure, exactly. And it's the communion that I see that the leadership continues to practice day in day with your department, with Matt Weintraub's office, the district attorney's office, and all the department heads and leaders in all these townships and boroughs. That's what makes it so effective and why people thrive to still continue to come here to Bucks County. I spoke to a police officer the other day, Philadelphia, and I asked him how many years you have on a job. It's a shame that there isn't anything positive for a police officer in Philadelphia to talk about, because no one has their back other than John McNesby, our Fraternal Order Police. Thank God for the Act 111 that was enacted years ago, where we have the bargaining. But police officers in Philadelphia today, I was shocked what this one officer told me. Fred, there's one or two people standing roll calls. The attrition rate is so high, people are looking to get out instead of go into the streets and suppress crime because there's no backbone. Starting with the leadership, with the mayor, right down to the district attorney. And now I'm hearing that there's contempt charges with the district attorney's office.
I saw that yesterday. Was it yesterday or the day before on the news? But, I used to love to go into Philly, for dinner and stuff like that. I try to avoid it because I don't even feel like I can protect my own self, because I'd be held, I shouldn't be held to a higher standard, but I don't think I'd be held to the same standards, or a fair standard, I should say, by the district attorney. I think if he was able to get a police officer, on a chopping block, he would be happy to do that.
Yes.
And anyway, I don't want to. As much as I love being up on Krasner, it's not. We've got other stuff on the agenda.
Absolutely.
Maybe we can have a
positive
beat up on Krasner show. Would that be okay?
It would be easy.
It would be easy.
And how many people would be showing up?
I'll leave Philadelphia with this, and then we can move on, I guess. Is 750 shootings. Somebody needs to be held accountable at a government level for that. And everything's preventable to some degree, but you have to be willing to do it. It comes with hard work. And maybe when we come back after our break, we could talk about, I know we were talking about some new projects, so we're going to.
Yes,
I don't want to talk about the school, but we are going to use a school as a model to secure it. As I said on the show, that we could prevent school shootings. We've had shows about that. We've talked about that,
and it's great to talk more about it.
And I've got somebody that's willing to go to task on that.
Oh, that's great for listeners to hear that.
And schools can be safe, and school shootings are preventable, and I guess that's a good way to go on a break.
Yeah, absolutely. We're going to take a quick pause for our sponsors, Paul Muller, who's a proud sponsor of this show, among some other ones. Please, we'll return very soon. Don't go anywhere, because you're with the man.
I don't know about
Fred
that.
Harran. Hey, that rhymed. We'll return in a couple minutes.
We have something for everyone at Team Toyota. With used cars starting under $6,000, over 80 Toyota certified used vehicles pre-owned trucks, vans, SUVs, hybrids, and more. And they all come with 1 year of complimentary maintenance and roadside assistance. Plus, you can shop completely online or in our safe and spacious showrooms for a comfortable and fast process that puts you in control. Visit teamtoyota.net and be safe, be strong, and be a team.
WBCB is now on your FM dial at 107.3. Serving Bucks, Burlington, and Mercer counties since 1958, you can now listen to all of your BCB favorites crystal clear on 107.3 FM. A new age for WBCB on a new frequency, 107.3.
Former Philly Tommy Green, and here's the pitch. More people are online every day to check and pay their bills. Now you can have your BCWSA utility bill delivered electronically. Enrollment couldn't be easier. Just go to bcwsa.net or call 800-222-2068. With electronic billing, you have control to see your bills whenever you want and enjoy the convenience of viewing and printing up to 13 months of your previous bills. Best of all, the service is free. Sign up for e-billing at bcwsa.net. BCWSA, proven.
Whether you're just getting started, already well on your way, planning for your future, drafting your vision, growing toward greatness, or finding that dreams really can come true, whatever your next steps are, we'll be right here with you, just like we have been for 150 years. Start here, grow here, stay here. Penn Community Bank. Here we are, and here we grow. Member FDIC.
So welcome back, and you're in for a real treat. We still have time to listen to our Bucks County Sheriff, Fred Harran, who is going to be coming up with some good notable points of interest for you to understand how effective the Sheriff's Department has been running. Our good friends at Kramer's Bakery, Fred, they try to keep us
I don't need that.
loosening the belt buckle here after we start eating some of these. But Kramer's Bakery, raisin rugalash. Not bad. Get down there. It's in Yardley. Great place, Kramer's Bakery. Let's get back to some of the things that we're talking about. Philadelphia, very sad. There's no leadership and there's no cohesiveness at all. And the apathy that I hear from the police department, as well as the firefighters, the same thing, is it's a shame. Not Krasner, but Kenny's father was a firefighter.
Yeah.
He's probably rolling over 1,000 times every day. And Kenny's even expressed his apathy to, he doesn't even want the job anymore. That's the worst part. What do you do in a situation like that? It's just crumbling, and something needs to be done. It's a great city, the Quaker City at one time.
It is a great city, and that's why when we started talking about Philadelphia, we got into it because we were talking about like places like Bensalem.
Yes.
Those are the challenges that we face in Bucks County. It's a great county, but we have New York that's about an hour away. We've got Trenton on our heels. We've got and Philadelphia, on our heels, and
yes.
The shootings and the carjackings and the drugs through the city. Criminals don't know boundaries, and we just have to keep that in mindfulness.
You're right, because it can seep in as it's coming up here. I mean, I understand there was an incident with a past criminal. He was out released several times, and he accosted a young lady in Bristol and threatened her. Jumped in the car, was carjacking the car, threatened her not with a gun or a knife, but a needle. He said, I'm a heroin addict, and I'm going to use this needle on you. And many people, I think I'd rather be faced with a gun or a knife when you got a needle there and you're getting stuck with something like that.
You don't know.
That can even be worse. But you're absolutely right. How and why is it effective in this county? But then when you look in Philadelphia, it's just the opposite, and it's the leadership.
Right.
It's the leadership. It begins from the top, and it goes all the way down to where we, have great deputies, great police officers, EMTs, paramedics, the way they're accredited and trained, thanks to you when you started it in Bensalem, and now it's starting to transcend, which is great. So let's get back to just what we were talking about, getting into the nitty-gritty. Questions for Fred Harran. Before we get into the questions that our listeners over the past couple weeks sent in. Some people that I spoke to had some questions. Hey, listen, can you ask Fred this? Great. That's what we're here for. But let's talk about two great events that are coming up. The Bucks County Tour of Honor. Mm-hmm. Sunday it was moved ahead because of bad weather on this past Sunday, 9/11. which would have been it would have been apropos, September 11th for our military. But the weather was bad. It's our car show. Jerry Fretz, our buddy, the director of security, he also was a naval commander in Afghanistan, a couple tours, and also Philadelphia police captain for many years. He will be heading that car show, the annual car show that we do. And Joe DiGirolamo, our buddy, will be there, and many of our politicians, including maybe yourself if you're going to be around. It'll be this Sunday. We moved it because of the weather. And hopefully we'll have a couple hundred cars as we normally do.
Nice.
And the benefit, the proceeds obviously help to fund the trips that we do for our military, the 6 bus loads that we take down. World War II, we still have.
It's a great event.
Isn't it great? World War II, Korean War, and our Vietnam.
Yeah, I've gone twice. It's
you have, and you've been involved very.
Yeah, it's a great event. If you have any relatives that are veterans, they should do this. And obviously, it doesn't cost them anything. It's you have lunch, you VIP tours, and it's nice.
It really is.
Good.
It's a great tribute, and everyone who's involved. If you do have the need to get involved with the tour, Bucks County Tour of Honor, if you would like to volunteer your time with some of our events, 215-768-6505. The new home, by the way. Christine's retiring. Christine Ferreira. And the new home for the Bucks County Tour of Honor. Do you know where that is?
No.
You're sitting in it. Team Toyota, Paul Muller, has graciously given us office space upstairs. So we're a little more centrally located now in the lower Bucks County region. And, Team Toyota is now going to be the home for the Bucks County Tour of Honor. And lastly, for now, certainly not lastly, I shouldn't use that word, there's so many other events, but your October golf outing is coming up for the Bucks County Police Chiefs. Yeah, October 12th. It's be right here, right around the corner. Ben Salem Country Club. Ben Salem Country Club. It's the golf outing of golf outings, as people have said. It's the Epcot of golf outings. You get a little taste from around the world, and a lot of food, a lot of nice non-alcoholic beverages. That's correct. And a lot of good giveaways and prizes and things like that. So it's a long day, but a great day. And I know you guys have always supported Hole in One. I've won it 3 years in a row now. The car. Yeah, it's very nice. What are you doing with all these cars? I don't know. I put them on a lot here. I wish. We will. We'll have a hole-in-one car out there again. How about what happened at one of our events? And I'll say this real quick. Somebody comes running up to me, Frank Pirano. He said, "Hey, someone actually hold the par 3. Hey, Timmy, how are you?" And they came over to me. I said, "Great, Paul will love to give a car away." I said, "No, the problem is it was on a par 4, and the guy, he ran the green. He just ran a green on a par 4, Fred. Tripped up onto the green and right into the hole. Unfortunately, it was not the hole-in-one hole. God. But, I mean, these things happen from time to time, but it's charity. And, it'll be a good event for yours. Looking forward to it. As well. So, let's talk about, before we get into the questions, these fake warrant scams. They're just insidious efforts that have proven to be very harmfully effective as these creeps, as you indicated when you were interviewed about this on ABC News. How they prey on our innocent residents. Explain to our listeners some pertinent facts that can maybe ease all of our citizens to be more alert for this type of fraudulent activity. Well, the criminals, the technology is a good thing, but the criminals get to use it too. So it's not just for us and for law-abiding citizens, so to speak. It's also the criminals get to take advantage of the technology that's out there. Yeah. So they have spoofed our phone. So it looks like it's our phone number coming up, the Bucks County Sheriff's. They have actual names of employees that they identify with and emails that are not correct, but has the person's name on it. They have now they've also come up with fake warrants with judges' signatures that are not authentic. But all the technology, the best technology and the best scheming they could do they cannot get past what I'm about to tell you. And that is the court system and the Bucks County Sheriffs do not ask you for gift cards in payment of fines and stuff like that. We do not take gift cards. We don't, you can't pay us like that. Anything that sounds if it sounds a little strange to you, it is. That is strange. Right. And,
You know, if you really think it's something, you know, they told the one guy that he missed jury duty. He might not even know he had jury duty. He may have thought he threw the card out or whatever, and there was a warrant for his arrest issued by the judge, and that's not the case. You know, you could come to the office if you really think there's danger there. Come to the office. You know, my email, you could email me if you want. You know, they haven't used my name, but you'll get a response from me, and then you could call me if you want. You know, my email's on the website. It's not hard anyway. It's Harran, Harran at buckscounty.gov. So you could certainly do that. But we do not take payments with gift cards or Amazon cards or I forget the one card that they were using. It's like a MasterCard Visa, but it's not. It's called something else. I forget what it was. But we don't take payments like that. It doesn't sound strange to you all. If it does, then it is strange. So sometimes they're very convincing, and just come in or call somebody else and run it by a friend, and at least you got two heads thinking about it, and somebody will have a moment's pause and say that just doesn't sound right. And we don't come to you. We don't communicate with you that way.
Fred, you never send emails to the sheriff's department.
Not like that.
And you're not reaching out and making phone calls to.
No.
Yeah.
You would get letters from the courts. You would get things like that, and you could certainly call us directly. Look up the number, not a number somebody gives you. Look it up, and then just call us. And I'd rather you just look it up on your own through the internet. Call us,
internet, right?
And then you got the real department. Don't go by what somebody gives you, and that's why I'm not giving you the number on the air.
Exactly.
Just look it up yourself, and then call us, and we'll straighten it out for you. We have a lot of the clerks there. We'll be more than happy to help you and get it figured out for you.
Yeah, I mean, it's just ridiculous. Now I'll mention to you this other scam. It's an apparent scam that I received it as a text. And then other people were telling me, oh, yeah, I got this text. And it makes no sense about a grocery reimbursement in the amount of $900 if you're in Medicare A or B. Now, they're once again, they're praying, and they're smart, these culprits.
For sure.
Creeps, as we call them, that's what they are. They're reaching out to the elderly. That makes me elderly. Fred. But what can I do?
Not really. You're not elderly.
But $900 reimbursement if you're in Medicare A or B, and then there's a series of information that they want you to text in on your phone.
Yeah.
Come on.
I get them all the time on my phone, and people's like, oh, what can you do about it? I'm like, there's nothing you can do about it, because a lot of them are they originate from outside the United States. Just ignore it. Don't open it. Don't get curious about it. Don't start poking around about it. Don't forward it to anybody. You see something that looks crazy, just delete it. Don't get all worked up over it, because there's nothing we could do about it. Most of the stuff originates from outside the United States. You want to report it, you can report it, but don't be opening stuff. Don't be forwarding stuff. If we could just get everybody to do that, we won't have the scams. They'll figure something else out, and they'll stop doing this. So don't open it. Don't let them into your system. Don't acknowledge anything. Don't ask them questions. Don't think you're smarter than they are. You are smarter than they are, but they're very clever when it comes to this stuff. Just let it go and delete it.
The little sneaks. Wouldn't it be nice if I could just sneak up behind them, and you see them catch them in the act somehow, and you just put your hands around their neck and just.
I'm not sure you should commit to committing a crime on the radio show.
I'm not going to do that.
He's just hypothetical.
It's a hypothetical thought. Get it out of my mind. What's wrong with me?
Weintraub, that's Tom Mellon. Let's get this right, not Fred Harran.
Not Fred Harran. It was your friend, your buddy here. I know. And, he always jokes now at the end of every show, I'm telling Jerry I'm coming home to walk the dog. Well, I was up in Erie for the convention, and Matt said, don't worry about it. I'll walk the dog with Jerry while you're away. I said, isn't that nice? I mean, he even finds ways of doing things personally.
He's a DA of the people.
He is a DA of the people. So we're going to come back after a quick break so that we can hear, some commercials from our sponsors once again. Thus, they are the reasons why we can do these shows. And then we're going to get into some questions.
Let's do it.
Ask Fred, the sheriff. We'll return after a few moments.
We have something for everyone at Team Toyota. With used cars starting under $6,000, over 80 Toyota certified used vehicles, pre-owned trucks, vans, SUVs, hybrids, and more. And they all come with 1 year of complimentary maintenance and roadside assistance. Plus, you can shop completely online or in our safe and spacious showrooms for a comfortable and fast process that puts you in control. Visit teamtoyota.net and be safe, be strong, and be a team.
WBCB is now on your FM dial at 107.3. Serving Bucks, Burlington, and Mercer counties since 1958, you can now listen to all of your BCB favorites crystal clear on 107.3 FM. A new age for WBCB on a new frequency, 107.3.
A flawless occasion begins at the Capitol Grill. From the moment you step into the Capitol Grill, located in the heart of Center City, the experience is one of comfortable elegance. Whether you're looking to host a private affair, a perfect lunch stop, or dinner destination, start your occasion at the Capitol Grill today. Visit thecapitolgrill.com or call 215-545-9588. That's 215-545-9588 for the Capitol Grill, Center City.
Are you curious what old antiques, collectibles, or household contents are worth? Listen Friday mornings for What's It Worth with Mike the Appraiser, right here on 1490 WBCB.
Your day-to-day life is hectic between having to pick up the kids, make dinner, the countless other tasks that you got to get done. Rob's Automotive and Collision is there to make your life a whole lot easier. Make sure you take advantage of their spacious waiting rooms, the large flat-screen TVs, complimentary coffee and muffins, and free Wi-Fi. So even when you do have to stop, Rob's is there to make you feel right at home. Give Rob's a call today at 215-826-9200 for any of your auto repair needs.
We're back with Fred Harran behind the badge. The Bucks County Sheriff is with us today. I'm very happy. Every opportunity to sit down because this is the only time I can get to talk to him. Too many people are always busy.
You can always
Fred.
talk to me.
Yeah, I know you can. I know I can always reach Fred at any time. But we have some questions for the Sheriff today.
Let's do it.
Here's one that's coming in. Let's start with what is the Sheriff's main jurisdiction?
So the Sheriff's Office has countywide jurisdiction. You know, we cover all of Bucks County. We are responsible for all the the civil paperwork. We do protection orders, custody orders. We have 4 deputies out there doing warrants on individuals that are not paying their child support, that the judge puts a warrant for their arrest. The movement of all prisoners within the system, getting them to the court, getting them to the courtrooms, making sure they're secure in the courtrooms. We're in charge of the courthouse security, which is a big task. That's where the bulk of our staff is in the courthouse. Also, all kinds of civil orders that are out there. You owe people money, you're being evicted, your house is foreclosed on. You didn't pay your MasterCard bill, and MasterCard wants their money. We come and take your property and sell it, and then MasterCard gets the money, or whatever credit card company. You just use MasterCard in general.
Of course.
So it's the civil side, really, of the criminal justice system, if you will, or the justice system, I would say.
Well put.
But as far as the criminal justice, we move all the prisoners and serve warrants. We do the extraditions for people that flee our jurisdiction or in other states or other counties. We go pick them up and bring them back. So it's a busy department. We have 64 sworn in the sheriff's office and about 80 with a little over 80 with civilian employees. And that's not enough really to get the job done properly and adequately. One of the things I had said, campaigning is that I wanted to make sure that we did serve the warrants and taking the burden off of local law enforcement, and when they pick up people on warrants, that we pick them up and get them to the prison as quick as possible.
Right.
So that the officers can get back on the street doing their job, answering 911 calls. So we're doing that as best as we can. I think the times have improved. But I also want to try to bring some new programs out there. We also do the gun permits. The Sheriff's Office issues carrying permits. The Sheriff is the one that issues the carrying permit if you want to, in Pennsylvania, carry a concealed weapon.
Sure.
So we do that. We have 2 other officers besides the courthouse. We have our Quakertown office, which is right now only open 1 day a week. We're open on Wednesdays today.
There you
And
go,
then we
Wednesday.
have the Levittown office, which is located at the government building, the government center by 5 Points.
Okay.
So that's 5 days a week we're open there. So you can get gun permits and other stuff at either location, plus also the courthouse, plus we do it online as well. So those are really the bulk of the sheriff's duties.
Sure.
You know, so people hear sheriff and they don't understand. So United States, there's 50 of us. There's actually 46 states and 4 commonwealths. We're a commonwealth, the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. So the sheriff's office here is a little different than the sheriff's office in South Florida, or L.A. County sheriffs or other parts of the country, where the sheriff's office also has countywide jurisdiction, but they also receive 911 calls and respond. If your car was stolen, if you have any domestic in the house, you could get the sheriff's office out there. In Bucks County, when you call 911, you don't get the sheriff's office; you get the local municipality.
Okay.
It's because we're a commonwealth and every municipality runs their town the way they want it, and hence we have 39 police departments in this county. So almost every municipality has their own police department. Some have joined with others. Some just use the state police because they're so small. It's not cost effective to get their own police department. But that's how it works here. So that's basically what the sheriff's office does. It's a lot of stuff. I really didn't have they do a lot more than even I realized going into it. It's a constant. It's very busy. We have over 8,000 warrants outstanding that we try to serve. So 8,000 warrants in the county. So that's a lot of warrants.
That's a lot of work.
As I said, we work with domestic relations, picking up their warrants. We pick up warrants for people probation parole violations, people that are warranted by the courts for not showing up, and a variety of other things. It's a busy office.
Just a quick question, if I can shoot off on the same topic there. Do you ever use outside agencies when you have just so many to serve? Are there other outside agencies?
No, no one really wants to give us people to do it. It costs money, so it's not the local municipality's responsibility. So why should their taxpayers pay it?
Makes sense.
So I get that. No, we do not have outside agencies
because it would
to
be
do
too
that.
cost prohibitive.
It just is problematic. It's just not the way the system is set up.
Yeah. Here's another question by one of our listeners. Do deputies ever patrol in their day-to-day duties?
So as I think I answered in the first question, we don't patrol as traditional patrol, but the deputies are out throughout the county. Certainly, if they see something, they could take action.
Sure.
Crime in progress, things of that nature.
They're
They certainly,
officers.
they just wouldn't drive by it and ignore it.
Yeah.
But they don't patrol. They don't patrol sectors. They have zones that they operate in. I wouldn't call it patrol, but they do operate in. You're not going to have somebody that's serving paperwork in Quakertown running down to Bristol Township serving paperwork on the same day.
Right.
That just is not time effective or cost effective. So we do have deputies stationed in different parts of the county, and that's where they patrol, if you will, or do their paperwork.
Of course.
Do their assignments for the day.
Okay. Now, how many deputies are employed? I think you had mentioned this.
64.
64.
Yeah.
And we're looking, hopefully, with the cost measures, to be able to hire more, I guess.
I put in for some more in the budget for 2023. It's just needed. There's not going into specifics for certain reasons, but there's days that I just don't have enough deputies to do the job.
Wow. Another question, does the Bucks County Sheriff's Department engage in investigating crimes like other sheriff's departments across the country? We were talking about this at break time.
Yeah, and I think I explained it too in the answer to the first question. We don't do investigations of crimes. We have, the other departments do. If they have detectives or county detectives have work for the district attorney's office, they investigate crimes. So we do not investigate crime.
That's why we have Matt Weintraub out there investigating the crimes, along with our police departments as well, our detectives. But good question. This is
a good question.
Yeah, for our listeners to understand.
I wouldn't know.
More.
If we weren't in the field, I wouldn't know the answers to these.
That's why it's great, Fred, for us to have these questions each and every show to have people curious to get their answers.
Right.
So that they understand.
Well, I try to give the answers, but and if we don't know something, we'll look it up and get back to you. But
better.
It's people. A lot of people. I get these questions when I go to different community meetings. People don't know exactly what the sheriff's office does, so these are good questions.
They are. They're great questions. How about this is another important one. Good question. When deputies serve warrants and the person is known to be dangerous, are sheriffs accompanied by either a SWAT team or other special law enforcement teams?
So we work with the county SWAT team. We have members that are on the SWAT team. So when we go to serve warrants, and this is something I want to do more of, we do an analysis on the person that we're serving a warrant on.
Very smart.
You just don't walk up to a door like, "Hey, we're here to arrest you." So we serve a lot of warrants. That's our main business. On the street is serving warrants. So we have our deputies are specially trained. They have some good equipment, and they do an analysis on the folks that we're serving warrants on. To make sure that whatever we're doing, it's as safe as possible. So, without really getting into too much of the details on what we do look at the individual before we just knock on the door.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Do you actually work with? I'm assuming you do. I mean, if you have a criminal that was spotted in Philadelphia, for example, very dangerous region. We talked about that. Do you have the jurisdiction to go in there and work in tandem with the Philadelphia sheriffs? How does that work?
Yeah, I mean, we would work with other jurisdictions if we had to go serve a warrant. We also have somebody assigned to a federal task force, which helps us to the U.S. Marshal's Office, which has been very helpful. Our officer, our deputy, was involved in. There was just a case in Philadelphia where they took down a guy that was wanted for multiple shootings in the city. So Bucks County sheriffs were involved in that as well.
Sure.
So yes, it's communication. Communication is extremely important. 21 years since 9/11. If anything good has come out of that is that the agencies, we communicate a lot better. 4 guys learned to fly planes in South Florida and no one was paying attention to. I think, and they weren't interested in landing those planes, only taking off.
No, that's right. That's right.
So, we learned about that later, the 9/11 reports and everything, but we do communicate a lot better now than we ever did, especially the federal government, believe it or not. I mean, the FBI and all those, the U.S. Marshal's Office, Homeland Security, DEA, especially the FBI. I mean, when I was in Bend, we have somebody working with the FBI too, with the Sheriff's Office, and keep that line of communication open. But they are great partners. The Marshal's Office too, great partners. The federal agencies, regardless of the shenanigans in Washington, at the end of the day, they're cops. When you peel back the onion, it's the same.
Yeah.
And whether you're an FBI agent or you're a patrol officer in a one-officer town, it's the same. It's the same stuff.
Yeah, same common ground.
So we do have great communication with our partners here in Philadelphia. Even Philly PD, as much as we talk about it, I don't want to go back beating,
Right, sure.
But Philly PD we have great communication with them. I've said that 100 times publicly. Bordering a big city, Philly's very 100% cooperative. Their police department is phenomenal working with us. So, as you well know.
Yes.
But we do that before we serve warrants.
Yeah. John McNesby, you got to give him a
shout
out.
Of course.
Boy, John, police officer of the year twice when he was on the streets. Worked down in the East Division where I was, and he just does a remarkable job representing the body of officers and their families as well. He can't do enough.
Yeah, he is a great partner, and John has always been a good friend of Bucks County.
Yes, as he always will. Yeah, that's his mindset, no doubt about it. We're going to take another quick break to listen to our sponsors a little bit, and then when we come back, we'll answer some more questions, and pretty much we'll be coming to the rounding off to the end of the show, as this show really moves remarkably quick. I want to thank Frank and Terry Colozzi, good friends of WBCB, friends of mine, friends of Jerry's, avid listeners. They're listening right now. Thanks for listening in on us. And they're citizens or residents in Bucks County, along with many of our other listeners. But I wanted to thank them because they're devoted to listening to all of our shows, which is great. So we're going to, after a few moments, we'll return with our Behind the Badge show with our Bucks County Sheriff, Fred Harran. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
We have something for everyone at Team Toyota. With used cars starting under $6,000, over 80 Toyota certified used vehicles, pre-owned trucks, vans, SUVs, hybrids, and more. And they all come with 1 year of complimentary maintenance and roadside assistance. Plus, you can shop completely online or in our safe and spacious showrooms for a comfortable and fast process that puts you in control. Visit teamtoyota.net and be safe, be strong, and be a team.
Your day-to-day life is hectic between having to pick up the kids, make dinner, the countless other tasks that you got to get done. Rob's Automotive and Collision is there to make your life a whole lot easier. Make sure you take advantage of their spacious waiting rooms, the large flat-screen TVs, complimentary coffee and muffins, and free Wi-Fi. So even when you do have to stop, Rob's is there to make you feel right at home. Give Rob's a call today at 215-826-9200 for any of your auto repair needs.
For more than 125 years, the Philadelphia Protestant Home has been family to seniors living independently or in personal care and skilled nursing. PPH is a premier community for affordable, quality care and vibrant living. Through its Benevolent Care Fund, PPH also provides peace of mind security to eligible residents who no longer can afford their living expenses. PPH offers spacious studio 1 and 2 bedroom apartments with balcony, patio, and garden view options. Call now to schedule a tour, 215-697-8000, or visit us on the web at pphfamily.org. At PPH, we're family.
Puss in Boots Tavern and Takeout, located on Trent Road in Fairless Hills, is your hometown spot, open daily for lunch and dinner with spacious indoor and heated outdoor dining. During football season, call 215-295-8236 to place your order or visit on Facebook at pussinbootstavern.com. Puss in Boots is following CDC guidelines, keeping you, our #1 fan, safe. Puss in Boots is open with a new menu, and it's good!
And we're back here with Behind the Badge, our Bucks County Sheriff Fred Harran, in this beautiful showroom at 746 East Lincoln Highway, the new home of the Bucks County Tour of Honor, and Fred's second home too. Fred likes to pop in here. That Tundra's gone. I'm sorry.
I thought you guys were saving that truck for me. That was beautiful.
Oh, it was a beautiful truck. That was a 1794 edition. We only get maybe 1 or 2 a year. And, you know, I agree with you. I don't know what's going on with the manufacturing and all, but it's a new culture. People are just ordering vehicles. They put a deposit down, and it seems to be working very effectively. I will tell you that. So people are coming in early on their leases, a 3-year lease, for example. You know, they may have an interest. They're aware. Everyone's aware. They're cognizant of the fact that cars are not just sitting out there, plentiful, where they can just pick a car out and then just drive off. So they're coming in early. We appraise their vehicle, and under the military program that we have here, the Heroes, right behind you, the Heroes program, police, fire, military, medical, come in and see me, Tom Mellon, 215-768-6505. It's a program I'm very proud of for the past 14 years. Paul allows the dealership here to sell the vehicle with no market adjustment. That's important because there's many dealerships out there. I don't know how they can sleep at night, but they're charging this market adjustment. That's what they call it. Well, the market adjustment is just they're adding on, and they're capable of doing it, and they're getting away with it. But Paul here, he practices a very high ethical standard, where it's MSRP, and he gives me the opportunity. When you come in and see me, you have to see me to provide cost-effective warranties at very sizable discounts. So if you're a police, fire, military, medical, the Heroes program continues, and Fred's got 6 or 7 cars. I think he's going to start his own dealership pretty soon.
That would be nice.
Yeah, that would be nice, wouldn't it? But yeah, thanks to Paul Muller once again, and it's just a great program. Right here, 746 East Lincoln Highway, right off of 95, easy to get to, across from McDonald's. We got a Wawa up the street now. This place is growing, just like the sheriff's department.
Yeah.
It's getting much more effective since you've been there. But let's get back to some questions. Let's look at this eviction process. This is one of our listeners saying, how does the eviction process work under your leadership?
Well, we're the end of the road. We're not the beginning of the process. So
no, that's true. You get stuck with the bundle
of
burden.
You have to file through the courts. Obviously, if it's a bank holding the money, then they have their lawyers come in, they file all the paperwork, and then eventually, when it gets marked for one eviction, we try to work with people's attorneys. Most people have attorneys by then, and make it not as traumatic as it is, certainly.
Sure.
So,
Confrontational.
we will be very, we can't go against the court order if we have hard stop dates, but we try to call the people and try to work through the attorneys to get them out, get them time where they can get a truck out there to get whatever they can. But then the day comes where they've got to go, we'll have to go out there, and we don't, it's not often that we have the situation that we have to physically remove somebody.
That was I was thinking.
It doesn't happen. Most people know. No
Rare.
one, just they got themselves in this mess, but they're not bad people. They're not going to fight with you and hold their ground. And
it's not you. It's not the sheriff's department.
It's not our fault.
Right.
It's not, so it's not as, we try to be as lean as possible, working within the guidelines we have, and we'll, give people a couple hours to get their stuff together in a truck. And again, 99% of the time it's worked out through their attorneys. And,
Great.
And, again, I'm very new to the whole process, learning things as I go. But, that was one of my concerns. People are at their worst point, maybe not their worst point, but a low point in their life. And we want to be as sympathetic to that. And I think the deputies that we have doing evictions and stuff are very sympathetic to the people's needs. So it's not a complicated process on our end. It's just it's a sad process.
Very sad.
When the day that person has to leave. If it's an apartment, it's one. Well, we don't do the small stuff that's done by constables and stuff. But homes and things like that, depending on the dollar amount, that's when we get involved. And of course, foreclosures. We get involved with the sheriff's sales. When I first came in January, there weren't that many. Now there seems to be the board gets a little bit more because we have to put them up on in the wall in the lobby. But also, we're going back, and I don't have the date. You can go certainly to our website. We were using a company. We were doing online sheriff sales, and not a lot. Some people asked me, can we go back to in person? And we went online, I guess, during COVID. So December, because we had to do like 3 months notice to people. I think we're going back in live sheriff sales, and I'm going to try to come to a couple of them just to see what it's like. But people come with bags of money, and you have like 30 minutes to pay us. For the house. Just recently, we sold a plane. I think it went for $40,000, and I didn't know enough. It was a small plane, but it was unique, evidently, and there was a bunch of people bidding on this thing.
No kidding.
And it wasn't flyable, or it wasn't in working condition at the time of the sale, because it's been sitting on the runway for a couple of years.
Sure.
But it was a good-looking plane. I forget the name of it, but it was to people that were into planes. They knew all about this.
Of course.
It's not made anymore, and it was a special plane, and it's pressurized, so you can go above 10,000 feet, and blah blah blah, all this other stuff. But the guy, I think, paid $40,000. He ran to the bank, got a check, and he was back in 30 minutes, and it was his plane.
Bingo. He took the plane over. Maybe he'll turn it into another diner like Flannery's used to be down in middle in Pendel.
Remember that?
Put it on stilts, and the new Flannery's. But there's all different. It's not just homes, but it could be any type of property.
Yeah, we take other property too, like when MasterCard, and I use the credit card companies, I should just say, not to give MasterCard a bad rap, but any of the credit card companies, when they finally file for, to get their money back, we're the ones that take the property and stuff like that. So,
exactly.
It's not a good part of the job.
Not an easy.
No.
And a lot of people want to understand that, and you need to realize if you have someone who's in that critical situation, it's not the sheriff's department that created it. You're at the very end. We are at the very end. The sheriff's department's at the very end, and it's.
We're the last stop in the food chain.
Yeah. No one wants something.
No.
Let's talk about these precautionary measures that are in place within our courtrooms.
Mm-hmm.
That should ensure safety, that the person's asking the question that should ensure, I'm saying that can ensure. It's a lot more positive.
That does ensure.
That even better. That does ensure safety for those who are in attendance. Now, I know you can't be
Well, we're going to be very vanilla on it, but obviously when you come in the courthouse, everybody's going through a magtometer, you're going through an X-ray machine. It's just like boarding a plane. I mean, it's just like flying. If you flew on a plane, it's the same thing coming in the courthouse. There's a line. You put your stuff on the conveyor belt. We don't make you take your shoes off, but if if it beeps, the machine will indicate where on your body the metal's coming up. Then we'll do a hand wand on you to see what it is. And most of the time, people do forget they have knives and things. You can't bring vapes into the building and stuff. So some people don't want to throw them out. So it's kind of stinky. They got to get out of line, go back to their car, and get back in line again.
Sure they do.
So. And there's a sign outside the door, outside the courthouse, whatnot you can't bring in. People don't read it.
That's a shame.
So it's just a problem. And so everybody gets screened, and then the courtrooms all have security in there, deputies when there's court proceedings going on. We have deputies in the courtroom. And then we have some internal measures that I'm certainly can't discuss that we have in place.
But people should feel very safe knowing that.
Yeah, I mean, everything is watched in the building. We have it's pretty an intricate back behind the scenes tour, if you will.
Right.
And if there are any groups, I wouldn't mind if there's like a Boy Scouts or somebody, and I'm not just saying you and your neighbor come in, but if there's a group that you want, we'd be more than happy to set up a tour of the sheriff's office and the courtroom, the courthouse. I think it'd be pretty cool, and I'm sure we can get a special
great idea.
Guest by a judge or a guest by our district attorney or anybody that's around. We can arrange something. So I certainly open it up. It's not my courthouse; it's their courthouse.
Exactly.
But we work very well with the judges. Judge Bateman, who's the president judge, is a fantastic partner, and he's been very receptive to some of the ideas that I've brought to him. Also, what we have starting, and we'll do a release as they graduate. We just acquired 2 bomb dogs in the courthouse yesterday.
Wow,
that's nice. 2 new puppies that we were able to obtain at no cost to the taxpayers, by the way.
Well, yeah, that's great.
So we got donations, and we're still working on donations for their upkeep and stuff. So, I promised, I wanted to bring new programs with no additional cost to the taxpayers. Some things cost money, the hard wire stuff, so to speak. But when we do these extra things, I want to try to get out some outside funding, and we've been able to acquire. And I'll have more details on that, and maybe we'll bring the dogs on the show. I don't know. We've got questions for them, but they're handlers anyway.
Yeah.
We'll bring the handlers with the dogs on the show, and
that's a great idea.
And we could do a little show with the dogs. That'll be fun.
That would be good. Fred, we're at the end of the show, like a couple minutes left. That's why we want to let our listeners know that you never want to. Oh, it's only a couple minutes left. I think we've heard everything important. You just came up with something that's astounding. The donations of the bomb dogs should make everyone feel really safe.
Yeah.
In the courtrooms.
And they'll be there greeting people as they come in. And it's just like, when you board a plane, sometimes the dogs come through, or you get on a cruise ship and stuff like that. They're not attack dogs; they're bomb dogs. So
that's great.
They're nice.
Very effective.
Yeah. So we're very excited about that. And 2023, I think we're going to do some new stuff as well. Yeah.
New projects. Yeah.
I know it's important to our Bucks County residents to have gun permits. I want to make sure that's as easy as possible within the confines of the law.
Sure.
We're planning on taking the show on the road and going into people that want to sponsor a gun event, if you will, and safe gun event. We're doing a class tonight, gun safety. We've been partnering. I'll tell you what, Dr. Ganther, the new president of the Bucks County Community College, she'd be great to have on your show.
Why don't we do one of the shows that way? Yeah.
An amazing, I hate to say it, but I'm not big on listening to speeches all the time as much as I go to things.
Great speaker.
Oh, my God. Fantastic speaker, this woman. I think she's from Chicago, but she is amazing, and so she's partnered with the sheriff's office. She wants to do some stuff. Yeah, well, she's tough to lock down.
I bet she is.
You think I move around and other people,
Right.
Matt moves around?
Right.
This woman moves around.
She's
hard
to nail
Yeah,
down.
it's hard to get her down for an hour.
Well, that'll be a project for me.
If you could get her down for an hour, she's a fantastic lady,
Okay.
Dr. Ganther. Yeah, I would be
With Bucks County.
She's the president of Bucks County Community College. Yes.
Wow. We will try that. Well, we're at the end of the show, Fred. Thanks for coming in again, as always. You're a very busy man. Many people that you have to protect over each and every day. So I don't know how you get your sleep either.
I'm exhausted right now. I don't know why.
putting up with me for an hour.
No, you're not that bad.
My God. But I want to thank everybody for listening. At the end of our show, Bree, great job as always. And Bree's our engineering here at the desk and always does a great, fantastic job to bring this show to you. Stay tuned to all of our shows.
We should have Bree on the show to talk
Yes,
about
we should.
it.
Bring her on. She can sing a song. You did say you sing songs too, right? Oh, you don't? Okay. But, yeah, and we got Matt Weintraub coming in next month.
He doesn't sing. I know that for a fact.
No, I don't think so. He sings Far Away. That's his favorite song.
That's where I'd like to hear him sing from, Far Away.
Right.
Sorry, Matt.
Oh, guys. Well, Fred, thanks again. Fred Harran, the Bucks County Sheriff here. I'm Tom Mellon, your host with this show and many other shows. Thank you for being here. Thank you for listening. Once again, Terry and Pat Colosi and all the rest of the people out there, we want to thank Terry and Frank Colosi. We want to thank them for listening in as always. And at the end of my show, as I always say, be safe, stay well. Jerry, not Matt Weintraub, I'm coming home to walk the dog with you. And as I always say at the end of every show, God bless America.